obviously it was grueling, but how do you feel it changed you as, a person and as an actor?
Hmm. Lovely question. How it changed me.
I spent
No, it's
so long
okay.
answering one question. Oh my God, that's terrible.
Hey,
Hi,
greetings.
how's it going?
All right, how you
Great to be
doing?
with you. I was with your dad 2 years ago in London, right when Black Klansman was coming out, and he was like, I brought up your name, and he was just beaming with pride.
Oh,
So
cool. Oh, great. Oh,
it's amazing to get to speak to you.
all right, right on.
Um,
Pleasure.
so, I mean, obviously, I think your career has just kind of exploded out of the backfield, so to speak. And with this, it's obviously, I don't think anyone has been through an experience like this. I mean, I think this is just a unique film in film history. So, how did this process? Obviously, it was grueling, but how do you feel it changed you as, a person and as an actor?
Hmm. Lovely question. How it changed me. I was exposed to how a master, of his of this magnitude works. Like I got to go behind the Wizard of Oz curtain, if you will. Like and what I found, which is what I loved the most, I think, was the passion and the love he has for cinema and making movies, the process of it. I mean, a man that, and Christopher Nolan, that's accomplished what he has, the fact that he still has this same kind of joy for it. And I just, that's what I dug the most about it. And to know that where I hope to be, when I'm that age and older, to be able to make films the way he does, or to make films that I believe in still and have the same amount of joy, is the goal. And what I learned about myself was that it's you should embrace loving what you do. Like, I love what I do, and that's great, and that can actually help you with the performances, with your approach to it, because yes, it can be grueling, it can be tough, it's very demanding, physically challenging, but the love of film and the love of what we do carries you through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that absolutely shows. But I also wanted to talk about what was going on. I mean, even in your head, just for this process, because here you're being asked to be a classic action star in a lot of ways. You're relying on your innate charisma, your physicality, your ability just to hold the room, which I think Christopher saw when Black Klansman debuted at Cannes.
Mm.
How much? What are you keeping in your mind for this character the entire time? Because obviously, we're not given much of a backstory. We're not given, all of the, really too much in terms of exposition for the character. So who was he inside of you that wasn't necessarily on the screen? Was there more to it internally, or was that something you worked out just for
Absolutely.
yourself?
There was so much more to it internally and backstory. I personally didn't look at it as just a classic action hero. The way he was writing it, the way the story unfolded. I don't even know if this is a classic, spy thriller. This is a genre of Christopher Nolan genre film. So I was more, what I leaned on was the conversations of where, his background and where he came from and the kind of training. I leaned on the training heavily, but that really, and with George Cottle and company, with all the stunt team and the hours I put in training, which informed me more about who he is as a person, and not necessarily being reliant on the physicality of it all, but have something going on inside that can inform my choices. It maybe informs how he fights, how he analyzes, how he talks, everything, and that comes from inside out. That comes from knowing why he's doing what he's doing, how he got there, and what he sees, what he wants, out of this, in this world, why he even wanted to sign up for this, the character. All of that goes into it. So, like, I would have diaries and write about his backstory. It was fun.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you. We were out of time actually, but great pleasure speaking with you.
Likewise.
Congratulations on the film, and can't wait to see what you do next.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. We're good to go. Okay, I can see you now. There you are.
We did it. We made it.
Pleasure to see you again. We actually met 2 years ago in London for Peter Rabbit. So
there you go.
To speak to you again.
Slightly different genre.
Slightly different genre. I mean, congratulations on this. Obviously, I think
Thank you.
just, I mean, I'm sure getting through it was it deserves congratulations in and of itself, just because of the massive scale of it. But I've seen the film, and you do a tremendous job. So congratulations as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell me a bit more about Christopher Nolan's process here, because as I said, that the scale must have felt gigantic to you on the set, because for all these, CGI films, the scale is just completely, happening in post. Whereas for you, you're just surrounded by a gazillion moving pieces at all times. So how does that affect your process?
It's really interesting because the scale of this film the times that I usually felt the scope of it was actually more in the geography we covered shooting the film. So the fact that we were in so many different countries, and the fact that we would sort of pack up like this extremely efficient sort of like, it was sort of an interesting cross between like a traveling circus and like a military base. We would just sort of pack everything up into like an invisible little cube, and then we would open the thing back up in another country. And that was when I would really feel the scale of it, and also probably the duration of the shoot, which was definitely the longest film I've ever shot. But when you're on the set, it's interesting because it's so, the way that Chris works and the way that the set runs and the way that we even would work through sequences of action is so kind of efficient and streamlined, but also very intimate. And I think it's part of Chris's process to create, he works with a kind of a real speed, and we never dwell on anything. And it's not sort of like something where you just shoot very quickly because that's how the scene, that's how the director shoots, which some people do work like that. Chris sort of will spend as much time as necessary on each little moving piece, and that can be something from like the minutiae of shooting a very long action sequence, which when you watch the film is like this incredible trip that takes, 8-9 minutes or something. But when you're shooting it, it might take weeks and weeks to get the pieces. Or you might sort of shoot a scene that's between two actors, like Ken and I have several scenes like that. In a funny way, the intimacy of shooting a small scene in, between two actors, or shooting this enormous thing with 17 cars moving, feels almost the same. And I actually think it's sort of something to do with the focus that Chris establishes as a director. And I will also say that Hoyte, our cinematographer, has something to do with that as well. It's sort of, I can't explain it. When I was working on this film and working with Chris and the other actors, who were also extraordinary in it, I've never really experienced anything like it. The rest of the world drops away, regardless of how like massive the explosion is or how tiny the little movement of a hand in a shot is. It almost feels the same. And I think it's something to do with the very intense focus that gets put into the center of the piece you're making. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the experience of it. And there's a real just kind of motor under the filmmaking.
Absolutely. Well, we're actually out of time.
I'm so sorry. I spent so long answering one question. Oh my God, that's terrible. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, congratulations, and congratulations on the crown as well.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see that as well. So thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
You too.
I was with your dad 2 years ago in London, right when BlacKkKlansman was coming out, and he was like, I brought up your name, and he was just beaming with pride.
Oh, cool. Oh, great. Oh.
It's amazing to get to speak to you.
All right, right on. Pleasure.
So how does it feel to have a film in cinemas at the same time as your son, John David?
So it's going to be amazing. I mean, I'm living it as I'm here. We're what is it, 8 hours ahead of L.A. and my wife is really living it. I'll get the update when I go back to the room. But just he's doing the talk shows last night. He's on his way over here in a week or so, and we're proud of all our children.
Did Spike call you before casting him?
No, he didn't call me. You mean call me to tell me something?
No, just
you have to ask my son when he comes. But I think what I remember him saying was that Spike called him. You gotta let him tell the story because I forgot. I don't know if he gave him a book first or he said he wanted him to do it, but no, he didn't. He didn't call me.
Yeah, not at all. Great pleasure speaking with you.
My pleasure.
Pleasure meeting you.
All right, brother.